Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, today I will be taking a trip down memory lane and talking to an old buddy of mine from the early days of stand-up comedy at the Brainwash Cafe in San Francisco, Lee Stoneman. Lee fucking Stoneman, man. Oh my god, we had some great times at the Brainwash Cafe during those years, and he's a really fucking cool dude, and really bizarre, odd dude to boot, but a great one nonetheless, and I can't wait. We haven't really talked in a while other than email and shit. It's been a long time. He was a very pivotal character in my early years of stand-up comedy at the Brainwash Cafe, and we're going to reminisce a little bit today. So, yeah, here's my interview with Lee Stoneman.
Hi.
Lee, how the hell are you, man?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes, I can hear you fine.
Splendid. Are we on the air?
Yes, we sure are.
All right.
Great, man. God, welcome to the show. How you been?
Good. Thanks for having me on. It's funny. We only knew each other tangentially, right? You would come around to the comedy shows. Who was that dude you hung out with? I forget his name.
Danny. Yeah.
That's right. Now, that ain't the fellow you had the car wreck with, is it?
No, that was a different Danny.
Okay, good. I was listening to your podcasts there, and I heard about your accident, man. That's pretty messed up. What are you doing? Are you in recovery? Are you doing some PT?
I've been in recovery for 3 years. Yeah, I'm pretty much all good. Just need to lose a little bit of weight. I've gained weight again since it. Yeah. But other than that, no, I'm great. And I just, pursuing showbiz, full time and everything. But
I was really impressed. I was looking at your podcast and you got a lot of really good guests on there, man. Kudos for that. So keep doing what you're doing. It's funny that we barely knew each other. I feel bad about that because you were a funny dude back when we first met back in like 2006.
Yeah, we had some good times though for what we did have and everything. We'll get into that in a little bit though. But I wanted to go all the way back to the beginning. So where are you originally from?
Oklahoma, but I grew up in San Francisco.
Oh, you grew up in San Francisco?
Yeah, the formative years in San Francisco there.
Mm-hmm. Did you like comedy growing up?
Yeah, sure. I remember my mother and her boyfriend taking me to the Other Cafe in the Coal Valley. This is like a famous place where dudes like Dana Carvey and Robin Williams got their start.
Right.
And it went away rather quickly, probably before 1980, I'm not sure. But I remember seeing a comedy troupe there called Duck's Breath. But I was just glad to be in that place because it's kind of famous now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there were things like that going on. But, as a kid, you don't go out very much. I would just watch Saturday Night Live like everybody else and the old Late Night with David Letterman show. What about you? What did you get inspired by comedy? Was that your thing?
Yeah. From the time I was 3 years old, I was always dressing up as my favorite actors and comedians and imitating stand-up comedians I loved and putting on my own imaginary Saturday Night Live sketches, so it's always been ingrained in me.
of your favorite comedians?
The guys, well, let's see, stand-up wise, the guys who influenced me were like Sam Kinison, Andrew Dice Clay, and Bobcat Goldthwait. Those three were like my guys because they were the rock and roll comedians, you know?
Yeah.
And they were very dark and edgy, and they didn't give a fuck, and they always put, performance into their stand-up. And then I was influenced by the sketch comedy guys of like Second City and Saturday Night Live and Monty Python. And of course I love all the old guys, Laurel and Hardy, Martin and Lewis, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, we're on the same page then.
Yeah. So when did you first start doing stand-up?
2006. Well, I started a little bit before that. Doing some open mics in 2005 and everything, but in San Francisco about 2006. And yeah, really it was just a way to, get immediate expression. You know, you want to get some ideas out before an audience, and you can't necessarily write a magazine or get in the National Lampoon or something like that, or make films. But, with those open mics in San Francisco there, they had a lot of them. And, you know how it was. You were there. Yeah.
Did you try to write for magazines, though?
I started doing the open mics in San Francisco, and from there I went into stage productions and making short films and stuff like that. Back then, it was the early days of MySpace and YouTube.
Right.
And I started making these short films and putting them up there. And it was weird. One of them on MySpace got put on their front page, and all of a sudden they got 50,000 views. It's like the early days of the so-called viral video. Wow, 50,000 views for a video I did.
Right.
And, so that was pretty good. So from there, I just started doing a lot of short films and doing local stage productions. And I thought, putting all this effort into writing and directing and editing these short films, why not just do a feature? So in 2008, we made a feature film.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, me and Danny both started going to the Brainwash in June of 2006. It's been 12 years already. And yeah, he had been wanting to do comedy since he was a kid, and I've been wanting to do comedy since I was a kid. And he worked down the street from where I lived, and I'm like coming home one day, and he's like, "Hey, I found a place we can go do stand-up at. It's called the Brainwash Cafe. It's in San Francisco, and they got open mic tonight. Let's go." And I'm like, "Are you fucking crazy? We don't have anything to say." And he's like, "I'll go to the store. I'll buy us a notepad. We'll ride on the train." And reluctantly, I said yes, and we went, and I came up with like this one rant I did, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do some jokes I've heard, and that's it. And I remember I was the very last comic of the night, and Danny went on before me, and the place was completely empty. It was Tony Sparks and two black girls. That was the audience. And I got laughs, but then my rant did not get laughs. But I liked what I was doing, and I was like, I'm going to keep on doing this. And that's how I stayed there, And I was there all the way until January 2009. And then I took a year off from comedy because I was living somewhat of a hedonistic lifestyle. I was a bouncer in a bar. I was promoting the hell out of it and bringing people in. I was getting a lot of pussy. I was having a lot of fun. And it just I got caught up in this lifestyle. And so I quit doing it for a while. And then I went back to it in 2010. But I never went back to the Brainwash or anywhere in San Francisco because I just felt I was done with that chapter. So I went into the Silicon Valley comedy scene. And that was a little bit better for me.
Yeah, the Brainwash, for all your international listeners, was a cafe in San Francisco there in the Soma or South of Market District. There was a cafe, but also a laundromat.
Yeah.
I can remember a couple times bringing my laundry with me because I wanted to get there early to sign up for the stand-up. And you had to get there early. That's why you went on last, because you and Danny got there too late.
Yeah.
And they had pretty good cheeseburgers there, a little overpriced. But that's where I filmed my short film, The Hint, that got the 50,000 hits on MySpace there outside of the Brainwash. I don't really have any nostalgia for the place per se, but it was one of the better open mic venues in San Francisco, because most places it was just you and a bunch of other comics, and they're just waiting for their turn, and they're not really interested in what anyone else is saying. But there you got people who were sitting down for meals and doing their laundry, so you had an audience.
Yeah. Well, what I remember about you were one of the cooler comics there, because so many comics there were nice to my face but talked shit behind my back, but you never seemed like you were a guy with an agenda. You were always cool.
That's kind of the sad thing, and that's just the way people are, but it was kind of cliquey, and that's one of the things I disliked. I mean, I would try to be supportive and hang out and wait for other people's sets and be supportive and stuff. Some people would just do their minutes and then go on to the next open mic and everything.
Yeah.
I tried to embrace the camaraderie of the thing, but, I mean, what are you going to do? That's just, when people are trying to make a name for themselves, they're not really looking to spend time supporting other people. And that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But, I felt the same vibe.
Yeah, it's like that in all the Bay Area comedy scenes, pretty much. It's all about them, and the only camaraderie that does exist in the Bay Area comedy scene is if you're into drugs like they are, they fucking love you. But if you're not, it's like, get the fuck out of here,
But the funny thing was that I was amenable to drugs back then, but they didn't invite me in anyway. Maybe they didn't recognize that part of me. But it's the same down in Los Angeles. I tried a few open mics down there, and there's just that chill of people looking at you as their competition or an obstacle.
Yeah.
I mean, if you succeed, then you're taking food off of their plate and stuff like that. And I can understand it, but it's sad. I don't know how to reconcile that.
Well, you know what they need to keep in mind, but they always forget. They need to keep in mind, just because they're successful, that doesn't mean that they don't think you're untalented. And if they do think you're talented, they can help you get work. You should be nice to them, but of course they don't remember that.
Yeah, there are people who went up with us around those times who are very successful now, and what am I going to do? Resent them? Screw them. They got a sitcom, or they got writing there in the WGA or whatever. But I don't care about any of that. I just wanted to express myself and see if anyone could appreciate what I had to offer.
Yeah, the ones that are successful now are like Chris Garcia, Ali Wong, Marcella Arqualo, Kasim Bentley, Rachel McDowell, Mo Mandel, Caitlin Gill.
Yeah.
They're all out in LA and they're doing great. And
That's true.
Chris Garcia and Rachel McDowell, they were both very nice to me. And Kasim was too. Marcella and Ali, they were a couple of twats to me, I'll tell you.
I remember seeing Ali Wong. I was running, I think it was probably that open right place on Mason Street down to Tenderloin or something.
Yeah.
And I was running up Van Ness, and here she comes running the opposite direction with her little pigtails there and her little sweatsuit top, just in the funny little trot, running right past me. It gave me a glance like she kind of knew me but didn't. That's the image I have of her.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem with those people, and that was what they wanted. They wanted to be stand-ups, and it was a funny thing. Like I said, I just use it as a form of expression, immediate expression,
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I didn't have the bug. I mean, someone once said that there were people coming in doing stand-up, and they said, well, if you couldn't do stand-up, what else would you do? Well, I don't know. I guess I'd be an actor or something. Well, then, you shouldn't be a stand-up then, because these other people here, if they can't be a stand-up, then they would kill themselves.
Yeah.
That's how dedicated they were, and there's a little bit of truth to that. I didn't feel that way. I just used it as a form of expression. Went on to stage productions and writing and directing and stuff like that. But that's cool, that those people did that.
Yeah. We hung around David Wiswell and Julian Vance and Nathan Jackson, and they dropped out of comedy. But actually, David and Nathan, they do improv comedy in the areas that they live in now. And
great.
Yeah. I talked to David. He told me there's days when he wants to get back into stand-up and days when he doesn't, but he says he may give it a chance again.
It's miserable. I mean, when you think about it, they're like up until 2 or 3 a.m. If you're into the hard drinking and the drugging and the weird hours and stuff like that, and the corrupt club owners and being ripped off and the competition and stuff. Like I said, if you don't have the bug, and that's, you're going from city to city and stuff like that. I did one road gig, and it's like, this is not for me. So I started doing movies and stuff.
Yeah, and Julian, he dropped off the face of the planet. Nobody knows where he's at, and he deleted his Facebook.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's okay. He had a good run. And I think he opened for Chappelle there. He weaseled his way into opening for Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. The place had such a weird vibe. There was this mixture of, like, hipster college crowd beatnik millennials there. And
you talk about the Brainwash?
Yeah.
Yep.
And crazy homeless people. Remember Sweet Gail?
Oh, yeah. I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, she looked like Howard Cosell, and she was always fucking bombing every time she was up there.
Yeah.
What
are you gonna do? I mean, bless her heart. I think I saw her outside the Laguna Honda Hospital, where she was probably an outpatient or something like that. But there, but for the grace of God, go I. I mean, I wasn't much better.
Yeah, fucking some comic I met, like in recent years, told me that she was still there up until the place closing. I was like, really? God, because I hadn't heard about her in a while. I thought she died or something.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of eccentric performers and stuff, but I mean, it didn't bother me. As long as I got my stage time, that was all that mattered.
Yeah, remember the comics would line up at like 4:30 to sign up at 6, and then the show would start at 7, and it would be kind of dead. But then by 8 o'clock, 8:30, the place would be packed because they were all there to see Justin Scales.
Yeah, Scales. Yeah, he did really well there. That was impressive.
Oh, dude, I thought he was going to be the next Kinnison. I thought he was going to be a huge star. And then after he got hit by a car, he was never the same again.
Yeah. I did a couple of short films with him. He was an interesting guy, and I liked him and stuff, but he was an abrasive character. And yeah, I mean, personalities like that were worthy of attention, but up in the Bay Area, you weren't going to get no attention. It's sad, but yeah, you got to go down to Los Angeles, or you got to get an agent, Yeah. He didn't have any representation. He wasn't getting any press or anything. But we all pretty much felt that way. We recognized him as a strong talent. It's kind of sad that he couldn't get the kind of notoriety in San Francisco, major metropolitan area that it was.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he had an offer to be on Comedy Central's Live at Gotham, and he turned it down, and I'll never understand why.
Well, I mean, those offers aren't necessarily the best deals. Sometimes you really got to sign your life away, and they give you a crummy deal because they think you're desperate or something. So, I mean, without knowing what the details were, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, fucking the only comic I know from the Bay Area who was on Live at Gotham was John Hugazian. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah, he was very good. But, yeah, he was pretty well established. He was doing sets at the Punchline there along with Mo Mandel. So they were like a little bit more advanced when I came on. They were already doing those sets at the Punchline. Yeah, Hugazian.
Oh, Hugazian drove me crazy last couple of years before I moved. He was always showing up to the open mic at like 1 a.m. and doing 45 minutes. And what?
Where?
Oh, just about anywhere I saw him.
Oh, because I only saw him at the Punchline, maybe at the Purple Onion, but I don't think I only saw him at the Punchline. I didn't know he was doing other open mics.
Oh yeah, he did open mics on the peninsula where I lived.
Oh, okay,
and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'd come in at like 1 a.m., spend 45 minutes doing. He had this big old fucking book of like jokes that he's written over the years, and he would just like pick any random joke, and then he would fucking just riff, and he would fucking bust my balls. And I'll tell you something, I hate a comic who doesn't know me well enough to bust my balls, and he would just be a complete dick to me.
Yeah, I know how that feels, but you probably got to look at it from his side. And that's kind of, the way the game goes, right?
Yeah.
For your listeners who don't know, that guy, he's a little skinny guy. What was he, Indian or something? No, I guess Armenian.
Yeah.
And he has some good lines saying, that a Native American pimp will use every part of the hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I remember one time at the Punchline there in San Francisco when the comics were having a real tough time and they were kind of chastising the audience, for not appreciating their humor. And that guy goes up and he does one of those jokes like the Native American pimp joke or whatever. Audience laughs. He looks out at the comics sitting along the bar and he says, "There's nothing wrong with this audience." And boom, the crowd goes wild, and he's got them on their side. It's like that was pretty impressive. But yeah, I would not want to be on the receiving end of his wrath. And fortunately, I never was. That must have been pretty tough.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I remember.
You got to hand it to the guy. I was impressed by him.
Yeah, I remember you did a bit too about spell checking on the internet. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, you did a bit about spell check on like instant message or something, and you like the punchline was like, "Hey, I meant fuckwad."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That still happens to this day, Someone wants to correct me when I want to do a colorful turn of phrase, and that little curly red underline underneath fuckwad. That's not a real word. No, I want to say fuckwad. Yeah, I was doing silly shit like that. That's why I never continued my student comedy.
Yeah, I remember you made short films. My favorite one you did. It's not on YouTube anymore, and I wonder why you took it down. It was the one where Danny and Vladimir do this 30-second thing called White Guilt Moment.
Oh yeah.
Talking about Halloween 4.
Yeah. That's not up there anymore.
No, I looked for it and I can't find it.
What I was doing? I had my camera with me at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I was just filming every waking moment. And while we're waiting to go on the Brainwash, I grabbed these comics and take them out into the alley and give them a scenario and tell them to run with it. And I don't even remember if that was scripted or anything. I probably gave them an outline and just tell them, to review, one of the Halloween sequels, but with a very liberal slant or something like that. But I was enjoying doing that a lot more than stand-up, and I certainly didn't have to deal with the cliques and the people, talking behind your back and stuff like that, because people wanted to, these comics, they wanted to, be in films and stuff and collaborate in that regard. That was what was so cool about doing those short films. I wish I had done one with you, but we never got around to it.
Yeah, we never got around to it. I remember too. You told me and Danny to come down to, I think it was Berkeley or something, to shoot something, and for whatever reason you had a cancellation.
Berkeley. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, but I was there when you guys filmed that one, and I was just laughing my ass off. I remember. I remember.
It was just it was just a throwaway thing. You know, it was kind of funny, and you know, that was back when YouTube and MySpace were still in the early stage. You could throw stuff up there, and if you had a few subscribers, you could get some heat. And I mean, I kind of regret that I didn't follow through more on that because I had some good momentum, but I just kind of abandoned it. But yeah, it was cute. It was fun.
Yeah, but I told you that I want to do cable access. I want to get a late night horror show, and I want to do sketches that are just like that. Really random, dry stoner humor type shit like that about horror movies.
Yeah.
Like I think it would be brilliant.
Yeah, well, cable access is done. I mean, that's not even a thing. You just do that stuff and throw it up on the internet. That's all you need to do.
There's some cable access in some areas, but I heard like in LA it's fucking pretty much done. Like if you want to do it there, you have to already have it pre-produced, and it's like fucking how do you like pre-produce a cable access show when the whole point is to make cable access in their studio,
No, Tommy, it's antiquated. I went through the whole course. It was like a course you had to sit through to do that, and I was going to do it in San Francisco.
Right.
And it really boiled down to, well, all I need is a camera and my own editing software, which I had, and I don't need to hang around here and do this with these guys under their parameters. It was a thing, before 1992 or whatever, but no, it's just antiquated, so there's really no reason to do it. Anyone could do that. Anyone could do it with a phone and upload it to the internet. So, I mean, there you go.
Well, you should. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, you can do it. You don't need to go into some facility to do it. You can do it from your home.
Well, you know what you could have done. I didn't know this at the time. I found out later. There was a cable access station in my area in San Carlos called Peninsula TV, and they're still around. They're a pretty good studio and stuff, and they're pretty good about getting stuff on the air and stuff. I mean, of course, you have to go through all these meetings and shit, but eventually, your shit gets on the air. You could have done that if you had known about it, and if I had known about it, but. Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, but on the air, I mean, define on the air. They got, like, that federally regulated open channel for the public and stuff that nobody's watching. I mean, you got more viewers on C-SPAN, but if you throw something up on YouTube and tweet about it, you can get some actual eyes on your thing. I mean, that's just the truth. So, I mean, forget about that. And, definitely pursue what you want to do, but cable access is kind of it's very, very antiquated. I mean, I'm surprised that they're still doing it. If they are, it's probably because it's still an ancient thing on the books,
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen any good movies lately?
Any good movies lately? I've just been watching the classics like I always watch. Nothing new.
Good. I want to hear about the classics, because I don't care about the new movies nowadays. I find myself discovering movies from the 70s that I haven't seen before. What have you been seeing lately?
Let's see. Like of specific genres?
What are you doing? Do you watch Netflix, Amazon? Do you get Blu-rays? Where do you watch your movies?
I have a huge VHS and DVD collection that I've had for years. I watch those, and occasionally I will watch Netflix for anything new that I heard is good, or stand-up comedy. I use Netflix for.
Well, the only problem I have with VHS is they don't have any letterbox movies on there. I mean, when Laserdisc came along, that's when I scooped up all the movies that had been profaned on VHS. Like the John Carpenter movies, Escape from New York and The Thing. It cut off half the image, so I can't abide VHS. But are you still going to movies? Are you watching movies? What have you seen lately?
let's see. Well, as movies, I do occasionally go to see movies, but rarely. I saw The Book Club.
No, I don't even go to the movies. I haven't been to the movies, I think, since Rogue One, and I've given up on Star Wars. I mean...
Oh, yeah, fuck. Oh, my God, I went to go see The Force Awakens. I liked parts of it, but then I was just like, oh, no, the series is going to get worse. And especially when Carrie Fisher died, I was like, oh, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, no, I gave up on that. And I only liked the first movie to begin with. I mean, I saw Star Wars on Wednesday, May 25th, 1977, opening day. And that's really the only one that I care about, and the only one that I need. But, you know, I saw the Rogue One. It was cute in the theater. I tried to watch it again. I couldn't enjoy it. And that was the last time I've been to the movie theater. Now I just try to rediscover movies from the 70s and stuff like that. But are you still watching movies? Did you see anything recently, like some classics that you just discovered?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can recommend certain ones for you. Like, as far as horror goes, there was a zombie movie that came out in 1977 called Shockwaves.
Yeah, I know that. It's directed by Ken Wiederhorn.
Yep.
Peter Cushing's in it, and Brooke Adams. It's okay. It's not great. That guy went on to direct Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which was a terrible sequel.
Terrible.
Like a sitcom abomination of a really good movie. Shockwaves is okay.
I love Shockwaves.
Yeah. A lot of people like that movie. What else you got?
Let's see. From the 70s. I'm more of an 80s guy. I mean, yeah, I watch stuff from the 70s, but 80s is more my thing.
Yeah, I got one for you. It just came out on Blu-ray from 1975. A movie called The Reincarnation of Peter Proud. Have you heard of that?
No. What's it about?
It's directed by J. Lee Thompson, who directed Guns of Navarone.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the crummy Charles Bronson movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it stars Michael Sarrazin and Margot Kidder and Jennifer O'Neill. And in the 70s, there was a kind of a reincarnation phase going on. You know, there was also Audrey Rose with Anthony Hopkins and Marsha Mason. But this one came out in 75, and I remember I saw it as a kid. My mother took me to see it. And it's intense. There's a lot of nudity and murder and stuff. And it's weird seeing a movie that you haven't seen for 43 years, you know?
Really?
It's on Blu-ray, and I got it. And, you know, it's tough to recommend because audiences nowadays with their short attention spans, you know, who can watch murders on the internet and, you know, real life murders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how impressive I would look at it as a TV movie, but it's pretty cool, moody thriller that's mostly forgotten. But stuff like that, yeah. What else you got?
Let's see. You ever seen Fade to Black?
Fade to Black, yeah. What was that, 1980? Directed by Vernon Zimmerman. The guy from Dennis Christopher from Breaking Away.
Dennis Christopher.
Yeah. I think that's one of Quentin Tarantino's little gems there. That's one of the reasons why he put Dennis Christopher in Django Unchained.
Yep.
Because he was a fan of that movie. Mickey Rourke is in it, in one of his early roles there.
Tim Thomerson.
It's kind of disappointing, but it's a curiosity. Tim Thomerson is in that book too. Former stand-up comic Tim Thomerson.
Oh God, he was a brilliant stand-up comic, and nobody knows it.
I remember him on the old Letterman show doing a Charles Bronson imitation.
Yeah.
It had me laughing. His thing was that he would do an abbreviated version of the John Wayne movie Stagecoach.
Yeah.
On stage, you know, giving the sound effects and everything and jumping around and everything. And, yeah, he was a big stand-up in Los Angeles in the 70s. And, Tim Thomerson.
Yeah. He called David Bowie David Blowy.
He was in that 1984 Gene Hackman Vietnam movie Uncommon Valor.
83, actually.
83, yeah. that was before First Blood Part 2. That was when they went to get the POWs out of prison before First Blood Part 2.
Well, same director.
No, not the same director. The same director is First Blood.
Yeah, First Blood, I mean.
Yeah, but not the same director as Rambo First Blood Part 2. Yeah.
No, but he did First Blood and then Uncommon Valor. I know that.
Ted Conscious, yeah. Ted
Yes.
Conscious. And right before he did First Blood, he did a movie called Split Image.
Yep.
You saw that?
Yeah, Peter Fonda, James Woods, Brian Dennehy.
I got to stream that on Amazon. It's on Amazon. I haven't seen it in like 30 years. But, yeah, James Woods, Brian Dennehy, Noonan from Caddyshack, Michael O'Keefe.
Yep.
Karen Allen from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
Peter Fonda is the cult leader who seduces Michael O'Keefe. No, rather, Karen Allen seduces him. And Michael O'Keefe, Noonan from Caddyshack, goes into Peter Fonda's cult. And Brian Dennehy and Elizabeth Ashley, his parents, hired Jimmy Woods with a mustache to deprogram him. One of the, that's a buried treasure right there.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Split Image.
Yep. I haven't seen that one in a while. I should see that one. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's on Amazon. You can stream it for $3. I've been meaning to watch it again.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see a movie called The Legacy?
Yeah. I got the Blu-ray. Catherine Ross and Sam Elliott.
And Roger Daltrey.
Who married.
Yep. And Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey, and it's directed by Richard Marquand, who also directed
Return of the Jedi.
That's correct. It's a good gothic thriller. Yeah. I remember seeing that in the theater, and it freaks me out. There's a lot of startling moments in it. I tend to prefer The Sentinel from 1977.
Yeah, The Sentinel with Chris Sarandon and Jose Ferrer.
Yeah, and Christina Raines.
Yep.
Sexy as hell. Oh, The Sentinel's got a crazy cast, man. Christopher Walken.
Oh, yeah.
The dude from Law and Order. Shit, what was his name?
Oh.
Jeff Goldblum is in there.
Yep, Jeff Goldblum.
Deborah Raffin, John Carradine. Yeah, you said Jose Ferrer. Eli Wallach.
Michael Winner directed.
Michael Winner, yeah.
He's another Charles Bronson director.
Those Charles Bronson movies from the 70s, I just keep rewatching them over and over. They were so good. They were so solid.
What's your favorite one?
Oh, man. Boy, you got The Mechanic, Brainwash Cafe, Breakout, Hard Times, The Stone Killer, Death Wish, Telephone, Chato's Land. They're just so good, from the 70s. And his probably his last good one was in '81, Death Hunt with Lee Marvin. But the stuff in the '80s was the Cannon movies were pretty sloppy. But those movies, Mr. Majestic. Oh man.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
I can't get enough of the Bronson movies from the '70s. They're just solid action movies with a solid leading man.
Yeah, my two favorites of his are The Mechanic and Death Wish. Actually, I'll put 3 on the list. Hard Times.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah. And I like The Stone Killer. Breakout and Breakout Pass are by the same director. They're Tom Greaves.
Yeah, Tom Greaves.
And Telephone from 1977 from Don Siegel, who directed Dirty Harry.
Mm-hmm. And I interviewed the girl who's in Murphy's Law with him, Kathleen Wilhoit.
Oh, yeah, I know. You interviewed her? What did she say?
Oh, she's a character, I'll tell you. She
was in Roadhouse. She was in Angel Heart.
Yeah. She teaches acting, right? And so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, a lot of those supporting actors down there in Los Angeles, I mean, I went through some of their classes. They go into acting teaching. It's funny.
Yeah, so she's driving home after teaching, and we're having the conversation, and she doesn't remember a lot of stuff. She doesn't remember a lot of stuff that she did in the '80s, certain lines or stuff.
Selective memory, yeah.
Yeah, but she was really funny and a real character. She said I could add her as a friend on Facebook. It's still on hold. She hasn't accepted it yet. But
She was on Twin Peaks. She was on ER. I wasn't, a particularly big fan, but I mean, she's got an impressive resume. Murphy's Law is probably one of the worst Bronson movies, though. I mean,
yeah,
dialogue with her is just it's awful. It's trying to be like a 48 Hours clone.
Yeah.
They got some white chick spewing profanity. But that's a good interview, yeah.
The Asian girl in Assassination, Jan Gan Boyd.
Yeah.
I've had her on the show twice. I had her on earlier today.
No shit.
Yeah.
I saw that Assassination. I saw that movie in the theater, and I hated it. I mean, again, the Bronson movies in the '80s, they're just not nearly as strong as the stuff in the '70s.
He got repetitive,
They were offered, if Charles Bronson turned it down, they give it or if Chuck Norris turned it down, they give it to Bronson. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
I watched that movie again recently for the first time, and it's okay. Assassination. So, will you talk to her today?
Yeah, talked to her today. She just made her first movie in like 30 years, and
What's her name?
Jan Gan Boyd.
I got her line from Assassination. You ready? Are your salmon swimming upstream?
Yeah.
See, I know that shit, man.
Yep.
See, I was listening to your podcast, and your trivia knowledge is pretty impressive. And I would really like to go head to head with you, because there's stuff you know that I don't know, but I bet I can still get you in a couple of things.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking with people who have movie knowledge all the time.
It's both sad and fun.
Yeah, sad and fun. Yeah, but yeah, I love interviewing all these actors from like cult movies and stuff. They're like the nicest people in the world.
Dude, I was listening to your stuff today. You were talking to Catherine Mary Stewart, who I met down in Los Angeles at a screening of The Last Starfighter. She was very sweet. And you were there talking to her about your friend and your injuries and stuff. I'm like, I wanted to bust your balls. I was like, you lumbering lummox. I mean, she's a celebrity. You better make it about her and ask her questions.
Well,
You fucking silly goose. Well, that's kind of funny. It's kind of the charm of your show.
Well, certain celebrities are so forthcoming that they just talk, and like I don't get to ask them questions,
That's the way it's supposed to be, though. It's about them. I mean, you're the host. You got to let them talk, and you want to let them talk so you can get some stuff out of them. So that's cool. I was also listening to your podcast where you're interviewing Rutanya Alda.
Oh, I love Rutanya. She's one of my favorite people in the world.
She's a sweetheart, and I mean, fuck, she was in The Deer Hunter.
Yep.
With Chimino. I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Oh, she's been in some of the best movies ever made. Panic in Needle Park, When a Stranger Calls, Mommy Dearest.
Yeah, see, I only know two of her credits off the top of my head, but yeah, she pops up and stuff all the time. I mean, I know her from The Deer Hunter and that William Lustig movie, Vigilante, where she played Robert Forster's wife, rip off of Death Wish. But that was cool, man. Good job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk on Facebook and stuff. She's really cool.
Yeah. That's terrific, man.
All right.
Panic in Needle Park, shit.
Yeah. She was in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, where she's naked in that movie.
Was she? Oh, wow.
Oh, she looked good. Yeah.
Who else? Friggin' Chris Christopherson's girlfriend, Lita Coolidge, was in that too. She was naked in that too.
I think so.
Yeah. Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid. We're Blu-ray of that because it's like 3 different cuts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's kind of a screwed up, flawed movie, but it's okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I've only had 2 interviews that I just did not enjoy, and they both had one thing in common. Both of the actors had multiple sclerosis. Now, I'm not making a joke or anything, but let me...
Who else got more?
No. David L. Lander, who played Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, yeah.
And Stu Charno.
Yeah, I know who that is, from Christine and Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I know this shit, man.
Now, let me tell you, with David, I knew he had multiple sclerosis, right?
Right.
And we had a good conversation for about 10 minutes, and then he started getting belligerent and bitter the more stuff I brought up. So
wow.
I cut it off.
I saw that on your feed there. I got to listen to that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, his voice is a little scratchy in it because he had a cold that day. This was back in January, you know. And
he's up there. He's up there in years, man. If he's got an affliction, I can kind of understand, you know, him not being in the best of moods.
Yeah. And fucking, he was really, really nice, I have to say. But then he just got belligerent and shit in 15 minutes in, right? But then Stu, I had no idea he had multiple sclerosis because he hasn't been around in a while, right? So,
wow, yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so he actually forgot our interview was that morning, and he said that I interrupted his breakfast, but he'll talk to me anyway. And it was good for about 8 minutes, and then he started getting belligerent and bitter, and then he didn't want to talk about movies anymore. He wanted to talk about how he always wanted to be a concert pianist, but he never had the drive to do so because he got caught up in acting. And he got really mad. He was like, I was never a fucking actor. I just fucking did it, you know, to make money. But I always wanted to be a concert pianist, right? And then he played me an audio of him playing piano when he was younger, right?
Yeah.
I was fucking impressed. He was good.
Yeah.
He was like
new. Got the bitterness there, huh? That's funny. I remember him from Christine.
Yeah. I was so disappointed because he's like an icon of my childhood. He was in Just One of the Guys. Yeah.
That's funny, man. But that's good, though. I mean, they can't all be, you know, just open and boolean interviews. You got to get some people with some crustiness there. That's funny.
Yeah. It can get sad sometimes, but for the most part, I've had mostly good experiences.
You know, I had a funny experience. I was down there in Los Angeles, and I was volunteering at the Egyptian Theater, you know, so I could get free movies and to meet celebrities and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they wanted to bring in Udo Kier for a screening of one of his movies. You know,
oh, God.
Yeah. You know, the German guy with the crazy eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Your listeners know him from probably commercials, and what was he in? Armageddon.
Andy Warhol's Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah, and Blade, you know.
Ace Ventura.
What?
Ace Ventura.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
And recently, he was in that Vince Vaughn movie, right? And Cell Block. No, Ball and Cell Block.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, so they said they wanted to bring him in. They wanted volunteers to pick him up in Palm Springs, you know, which is like an hour and a half out of Los Angeles. I said, I'll go get him. I go out to Palm Springs and I pick up fucking Udo Kier, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, damn. And, you know, he's in the back of my car there. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'll be able to squeeze in a couple of questions, you know, and ask about his movies. But this guy's just talking all the way back to the theater. I turned on my phone about halfway through to record it because he was just giving me all this great stories and stuff. You know, about how he was in the story of O, which is like a softcore porn movie from the 70s.
Yeah. Which
was the precursor to 50 Shades of Grey. What's it called?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
The softcore porn novel. Is it 50 Shades of Grey? What is it? Anyway.
Oh, 6 Degrees from Separation.
No, 50 Shades of Grey. The movie that they were showing too. It was like a Jekyll and Hyde movie with really sexual overtone, you know?
Yeah.
This Mr. Hyde character with a big erect penis that was going and screwing people and stuff. I forget the name of the movie. I mean, you have to IMDb it, like Udo Kier, something from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Double feature of these weird, perverted movies. But anyway, we get him there, and this sucker goes next door to the bar. He gets really liquored up. And, he does this little speech to the audience. Not very many people showed up at the Egyptian Theater there in Los Angeles. But they showed a movie. Some other guy had to take him back to Palm Springs, you know. They got another volunteer. And I talked to that guy later on. He said, dude, we were halfway to Palm Springs, dropping him back off. And we stopped at a gas station. And Udo Kier just gets out and starts taking a leak on top of one of the gas pumps. I was like, man, I'm glad I got him on the way in instead of on the way out, because I was going to take him back home. But,
I'm thinking about that part now in Ace Ventura.
yeah, he was great. And it was fucked up because the assholes of the Egyptian Theater, I mean, you got this star here. They don't give him the respect, and they don't tell him when it's going to start, and, they don't have a plan for him when he's going to speak, and he was pissed off.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off, too, that these fuckers, didn't respect him. But, I got his phone number if you want to interview me. It'd be a good talk, Dad.
Nah, I'm good. I'd be a little intimidated to talk to him.
No, he was great.
Oh, my God.
He's one of these guys. He was talking about how him and Malcolm McDowell go and do, sign their names at these fan conventions.
Yeah.
I guess you go to a lot of these fan conventions, right?
Yeah. I went to 3 this month, including yesterday.
Yeah, where was that? Sacramento?
Yeah, Fandemic Comic-Con, the first ever, and I met Robert Englund, and everybody's loving that picture of us I posted.
Wait, where was this?
It's called Fandemic Comic-Con in Sacramento.
Sacramento, okay, Robert Englund was there, all right.
Yeah, he rarely ever gets invited to California conventions anymore, so I was really glad I got the opportunity finally.
What do you mean he rarely gets invited to California conventions? What does that mean?
It means he gets invited like in other states, in like other countries, because he's in demand for conventions, So he does like 1 or 2 a month for the whole year, but he rarely ever gets invited to the ones in California. And if he does, I guess his agent doesn't make a deal with them because they want more money or something.
All right, so it's a negotiation thing then. Yeah. Because I mean, he don't get much bigger in the genre world than Robert Englund.
Yeah, I mean that's the most successful horror franchise ever.
I talked to him on the Larry King show one time. I called in, but I never met the guy. Robert Englund. I like him in Big Wednesday, the John Milius film.
Oh yeah.
He narrated that movie.
Yeah, I told him I loved him in The Adventures of Fort Fairlane.
Yeah. They had a screening of that, The Adventures of Fort Fairlane, that they had the Egyptian volunteering, and Dice came in. That was cool.
Yeah, I talked to Maddie Corman on the show.
Yeah, I saw that you talked to Maddie Corman. She was Zuzu Pedals in that movie, huh?
Yeah, okay, I had her laughing. I was doing Dice's voice, and it made her laugh.
She's been in a few movies. That's a pretty good get.
Oh, yeah, the twins, but you're not identical, huh?
It's funny, these fan conventions, I mean, it's a huge, big business now, and now it's all, to promote movies and stuff.
Right.
And I don't know, what's the ticket price to get into Comic-Con nowadays? Is it $200? What does it cost?
No. It's anywhere between, it depends on the days. It could be anywhere between $20 and $50.
Okay, that's not too bad. Well, I figured you're going to go in there and buy a bunch of shit anyway, but...
Occasionally, you'll find a celebrity who charges like $200 for an autograph, and those are the ones I don't do,
Yeah.
Like the first one I ever went to, right, was 2 years ago, Michael J. Fox was there, and he was charging $270 for an autograph because that was going towards his stem cell research. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole cottage industry. I mean, they charge. You get what's her name, Catherine Bach from the Dukes of Hazzard, charging what $25 for a signed photo and stuff. All these people from these little shows charging to sign their names. It's amusing. That was your first convention only 2 years ago? Come on.
No, it was 2 years ago because I was a late bloomer going to conventions because I just before my accident, I didn't do anything. I was just in a comfort zone. I get up, I do comedy when I want, I go to work, and that's it. That's all I did.
You know what? I went to the Terminator 2 convention in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this is back when these were small niche things and everything.
Yeah.
And friggin' Eddie Furlong was there, and Stan Winston came out and spoke about his effects. And then Cameron came out, and then they put up the smoke and played the Guns N' Roses video, and then Schwarzenegger came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty cool. They had the models, you know, the life-size models of the HKs and stuff from Terminator 2 on display. That was in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I remember going to that. Back in the 70s, I went to a fan convention in San Francisco at the Cathedral Hill Hotel, and Reed Bradbury was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know, I remember watching for the first time the 7 Faces of Dr. Lau. You know, they were screening movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had the guy who did the stop motion effects for Laser Blast. I remember guys walking around dressed as Sandman from Logan's Run. I mean, this is a 70s convention, dude.
Yeah. They were really small back then.
It was very niche. And I'll go back even before that. The very first celebrity I ever, encountered was in Texas. It was a comic book convention, probably 74, 73.
Right.
Friggin' George Takei was there.
Yeah.
Talking to a bunch of these kids, these Star Trek fans, around these rows of comic books, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, he had the shoulder-length hair and the bad acne and stuff. And he was probably the first celebrity I ever saw. I must have been 5 years old. My older brother was a Star Trek fan. So I go way back with this stuff.
Yeah. I remember Curtis Armstrong once said in an interview, he went to a Star Trek convention in like 1972 or something, and there was literally nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very grassroots, as they say, you know?
Yeah.
It was, I mean, Star Trek was an older brother show. I wanted to watch Sesame Street, but my brother made us watch Star Trek. But, there was Sulu. That was my first official celebrity spotting. I'm in the same room with this guy. And, we sit around talking to all these young men, and, well, you know, I figured that was probably a good gig for him.
I've never been to a Star Trek convention. I want to go someday, but those are really, really expensive now.
I think that was a comic book convention. Because I remember the rows of comic books, you know?
Uh-huh.
And this was in Texas, friggin' Waco or Dallas or something. But, fuzzy memories.
Yeah. But, like, fucking Mark Hamill, he's, like, charging $300 for an autograph, which is fucking insane.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it. If it's not organic, if I don't run into him on the street and get I don't even care about autographs. I mean, people are, trading Steve McQueen autographs, for one Clint Eastwood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't care about a signature. I'd rather have the experience. If I can get a picture, it's nice, but I'm more about the experience. I remember, I heard you talking about Time After Time. You remember that movie from 79, right?
What?
Time After Time, the movie from 1979.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. So they shot it in San Francisco.
Right.
And I remember them filming a scene of that at 6th Avenue in Fulton. I was living right there at 6th and Fulton.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who the hell Malcolm McDowell was. I mean, I was only years old, so I hadn't seen Clockwork Orange yet.
Yeah.
But they were filming that scene where H.G. Wells comes out of Oldgate Park and crosses Fulton Street, and there's a car accident because he's looking at some scantily clad young lady across the street. And I watched that scene over and over, as they filmed it, and it's pretty cool. And years later, it's like, holy shit, that was the guy who directed Star Trek 2, and that was the guy who was in Clockwork Orange, man. I was right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was stuff like that. And later on, when they filmed Sudden Impact, the first Dirty Harry movie.
Yeah.
Out at Land's End, the opening scene there with the gunshot victim in the car at Land's End. I was out there living on 44th Avenue, and we just walked over and saw, Clint Eastwood directing that scene. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. What's the rudest celebrity encounter you ever had?
I don't really have one, because once they brush me off, I don't persist. I remember meeting Nicolas Cage in 1990 on Haight Street in San Francisco. There was a club there called the I-Beam, and there was a Kiss cover band called Detroit Rock City.
Uh-huh.
And nobody knew who he was back then. It was 1990. I mean, if you saw Raising Arizona or Peggy Sue Got Married, maybe you knew him. And people recognized his face, but he wasn't a household name.
Yeah.
He's walking around the club there, and he's got a leather jacket with Elvis painted on the back, because he had just shot Wild at Heart with David Lynch.
Yeah.
And I knew about that. And, I was there photographing musicians and stuff. I had my camera, and I asked him if I could get his pictures. He said, no, I'm not doing photographs right now. I think because he was with a chick that wasn't his girlfriend or something. But, I respected his wishes and didn't photograph him. But, I can't really think of anyone being rude to me where, I went to the stance of, fuck that guy or anything like that. What about you?
Probably the only really big one. I mean, I've met a couple of ones who were probably just having a bad day at a convention or something, but the one that was a little uncalled for, probably Linda Blair.
Yeah. She's got to have a tough life, though, man. I wouldn't even know how to approach her,
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but, this is what happened, right? Okay, we were in a long line.
This is a fan convention? Where was this? What city?
This was in Pasadena at Monsterpalooza.
Okay, what year?
2016.
Okay.
This was my second convention I went to.
Yeah.
So we're in line. It's a long line, Fucking.
If I want to meet Linda Blair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you paying for autographs? What's the deal?
I just wanted a picture with her. It was like $40.
Oh wow. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in line, and these fucking ass wipe security guards come over to me and my friend hi, are you a fan of Linda? Basically asking us what our reason was for being in line, and I just yeah, I'm a big fan. I just want to get a picture with her and stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, carry on. Because they want to make sure that we're not some, meat-eating activist because she's a vegetarian, fucking...
But you know what, dude? I mean, I have to think that she's got a lot of stalkers because the movie she's been in is the biggest, genre movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably an ongoing thing with her, but go ahead.
So, she's being nice to the people in front of us, just giving them hugs and shit and all that. And then when we get there, the guy's like, oh, they just want a picture. And then she's like, ugh, come on, let's get it done with. And this is after she just sat down after hugging these people and taking a picture with them and all that shit. And so I was like, what the fuck? She didn't even say, hi, how are you? Where are you from? What's your name? And so we take the picture. And then she turns to me and says, is that your camera? And I said, yeah. And she's like, well, since that's your camera and you're a nice guy, I'm going to give you a free solo picture. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. And so we take the solo picture, right? And then, like, and then she just sits back down, doesn't even give me a handshake. So I have to take the initiative and just say, thank you so much. I love what you do for animal rights and all that stuff. And then she's like telling me about her website, blah, 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 right? And then, that movie she did, Night Patrol?
Yeah, I'm thinking it had a bunch of comics in it, I think.
Yeah, the unknown comic, he's the star of it.
Yeah.
Well, I say his line to her, "You're a good guy, Sue."
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then she
No.
and then she just nodded her head, like, "Yeah, I remember that line." And then she looks at the person next to me, and then I just walked away. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at some point you got to understand what these people go through, dude. I mean, on the one hand, how does that work? Do you pay before you get in the line? Do you pay when you get the photo? How does that work?
Well, this particular one, just get in line, and then, she's got some people next to her. They say, "Hey, what do you want?" And I was like, "I want a selfie." And they're like, okay, $40, and then that's it.
Yeah, I've never done that. I wouldn't do that. I mean, it's cool if you got the memes and everything and stuff. You're a collector, but I don't know. I wouldn't do that. So did you get a photo with her?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got the one with me and my friend, and then I got the solo one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a photo of you with Linda Blair. That's cool.
Yeah. So we got a couple of those.
The Exorcist 2, the heretic.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, she was a twat, though.
Yeah, but I mean, can't you empathize? Don't you know what these people go through and stuff?
I do, but I do.
This is her only means of income. Hollywood's not banging down her door. She's not getting other movie offers. Everything that she earns is based on that 1973 movie.
Yeah, I get it, but not. Yeah. I also get the fact though that not every fan is fucking psycho or crazy and shit, and she should just try to be a little bit more congenial about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? So it's crazy.
Yeah. That's cool. If you like the fan convention thing, it's cool. I remember when I was a kid, they were filming the Richard Dreyfuss movie, The Competition, in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. The one with Amy Irving. I think Richard Dreyfuss plays a concert pianist or something. I never saw the movie.
Yeah.
But I was living right outside of Golden Gate Park, not in the same place where I was when they were filming Time After Time. But someone tells me, hey, they're filming Richard Dreyfuss over there. So, we go to the park. It's at night.
Yeah.
And they're filming a scene at Steinhardt Aquarium, which they had redressed as a concert hall. And he's just coming down the stairs, and they film that over and over and stuff. And I was with my mommy, and she took me over. I was a little kid. And she took me over there in between scenes, and he actually came over and shook my hand. And that was really cool. So, what am I going to do? Just like Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, I love the guy. He came over and said hello to some 8-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Shook my hand.
I love.
Poked up,
Yeah.
Just let me into the cocaine back then. It was like 79, I guess. So probably 9. I don't know.
I'd love to meet Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah. He's impressive.
He was in that movie I just saw, The Book Club.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's one of those women's movies where the gals get around and drink wine and talk and stuff. What is this, The Book Club?
Yeah, it's funny, though. It's Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Diane Keaton, Mary Steenburgen. They're all looking for love. It's really, really funny, though.
I don't know whether to dislike you more for seeing that or the Force Awakens. What's the matter with you?
I've seen so many movies, though.
All right.
Do you remember? Do you remember the what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the time me, you, and my friend Michael went around passing out flyers for John DeCoven's comedy night at the Gossip Lounge?
Oh yeah, what was that? San Mateo?
Yep.
Yeah, boy, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. Because my friend Michael, he died about 2 months before my accident. He had a car crash too.
Oh wow, Michael! I don't even remember. I don't have a face. I don't remember.
He was a little guy. He had like a shaved head, and
Fuck.
yeah, and he went to the Brainwash one time to do comedy, and he completely bombed.
Yeah.
And it was.
I didn't mind bombing. I mean, that was the one thing about stand-up comedy. I didn't give a shit if I bombed because it was funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up going, figuring that people disliked me anyway, so it wasn't any difference. That was never a problem with stand-up comedy for me. Yeah, I do remember us handing out those flyers. I don't remember the fellow, but there were so many people, and I've just forgotten it all. But yeah, man, shoot, we went out and did some legwork and stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, we did some legwork. Yeah.
John DeCoven, you even remember the guy's name?
Of course I do. I've seen him a number of times since then.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I've seen him a number of times since then.
Yeah, well, you stuck with it. I mean, I went on and started doing stage production stuff and everything, so you stuck with it. But, you know, I went and did some open mics in Los Angeles and everything. And again, it's that whole thing of, you know, everyone's guarded and thinks of everyone else's competition and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're good at networking and you're a people person, you kind of break through that, but I never could. And, you know, it's kind of unfortunate, but I guess it's what you need to succeed.
I think if I had been in a better place at the time and stuff, maybe I could have gotten you to stay around and stick with it, but I fucking didn't know shit from Shinola back then. I was just young and fucking dumb at that time.
Well, I mean, sticking with it, I mean, all the people you mentioned before, they had to go down to Southern California anyway to get to reap the benefits of their success.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, no one stuck around in San Francisco and got to stay there and be successful. They had to go down to Los Angeles and get writing gigs or sitcom deals, production deals, and stuff like that. So, it wasn't really a thing.
So when and why did you leave San Francisco?
I got family in Oklahoma, so I bounced back and forth. And after doing those short films and my feature film, I did my feature film, which The Filmmaker, it's called The Filmmaker, and that came out in 2010, and submitted it to a bunch of film festivals, and one of them was the International Family Film Festival, because I actually did a PG-rated movie. Believe it. I submitted it to 10 festivals, and only one picked it up, and it was down in Hollywood. And it was hosted by the gal who is the voice of Bart Simpson, Cartwright. Nancy Cartwright?
Yeah, Nancy Cartwright.
Nancy Cartwright. Yeah. You know, it was funny. She had a Lexus, and the license plate said Forever 10.
Yeah.
Because Bart Simpson is 10 years old.
Yeah. So you left.
Right? And she was playing Bart Simpson for, 20, 25 years? How long has that show been on? Shit.
Show's been on. Well, it started in '87 on the Tracy Ullman Show, but then it started full time in '89.
Yeah.
29.
License plate Forever 10, Bart Simpson. I think she's a Scientologist or something. But I got to meet her, and, you know, they put my film at the very end of the schedule, right when they started breaking out the wine and cheese. Nobody went to see my movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. But, you know, that was the only festival playing my feature film. Somebody reviewed my movie in a magazine, a home theater magazine. You know, I sent in a copy and made them review it and stuff. And they were comparing it to this, comparing certain aspects of it to this movie called The Room.
The Room,
which
yeah.
I've never seen. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. This was back in like 2009 or 2010.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Right. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Now this thing is this huge cult phenomenon and they made a movie about. I could never go see this movie because they mentioned it in the review of my movie. I could never go see this movie.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Is it?
Yeah, but I remember, though, just before you stopped coming around the brainwash, you had some issue with Candy.
Andy Chirilla, yeah.
Yeah, like what happened?
Well, what did you hear?
I've I've never really heard anything, but I remember you guys were like making videos attacking each other.
I don't think she made any video against me. Um,
I've
I had used her in a couple of my short films. She was really good. What I think we did like 2 or 3. She was in The Hint, the one that got me all the hits on MySpace.
mm-hmm.
I think what happened was she got interested in another comic there,
Yeah.
and didn't want. There was something about a stigma of knowing me and being associated with me, and she wanted to disassociate. And I don't know. She got a restraining order against me. But if there was any illegal activity, then she would have simply gone to the police. But that wasn't anything like that. We were just friends. I gave her rides to gigs and stuff like that, and used her in my short films. And
Yeah.
I mean, one time she calls me up. She's drunk and she's talking to me for like 20 minutes. So I had the phone record of her calling me, and no phone records of me calling her. I don't know. She just had some problems. It was sad because I thought we were friends, and certainly I was attracted to her and would have liked to have pursued her romantically, but it got kind of blown out of proportion. There was no stalking or anything like that. I kind of played it up, which was, in retrospect, kind of a bad idea. But the funny thing was, all these comics come out of the woodwork. These white knights
Yeah.
defending her, even though they don't know the whole story, because they figure they're going to, curry her favor or something like that. So that's when I started doing a bunch of videos, just kind of shining a mirror at them and how ridiculous it all was that they were coming after me and making all these threats without understanding of what had occurred. But I didn't have any ill will towards her. It was just sad because, like I said, I thought we were friends. But it's just, it's chick behavior. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I do remember seeing her make a video though, and it was I remember it was like a week before or a week of Labor Day when me and Danny saw these videos, right? And we stayed away from the brainwash for a month for personal and financial reasons, right? And then when we came back, we were like, "Where's Lee?" And people didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, that was the sad part. And, I mean, I could have just kept showing up to the open mics and stuff, because I wasn't really afraid of these people that were making all these blustery comments and stuff, but I figured why agitate it. Also, I was doing a play over in Berkeley, which was funny because it was right down the street. She was doing a gig at that, I guess it was a pizza place there in Berkeley that used to do open mics.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't show up to, drop in on her or anything like that. No, I never saw them. If she did a video response to me, I never saw it.
Yeah, I definitely saw it. And to be honest with you, I thought you guys were like, doing a joke. I thought you guys were all kidding about this, like you were trying to do like a public call out, to make everybody laugh. I thought this was like, all a joke.
But it was weird because I got some weird response from it. A couple of people saying, "Yeah, right on, man. That was pretty cool what you did." It's like, wow, people are watching this stuff. And she was doing this really shit underground radio show with this guy, with these fake teeth, this former meth addict in San Francisco. And he was, ready to do anything for her. She sent this stooge out to serve the restraining order.
Right.
And this sucker comes over to my house in the morning, and I got roommates,
Yeah.
and at the time, and they blew this guy off and everything. And I called into his radio show. It was a whole weird thing. And I said, "Yeah, I want to talk to Candy." And if this guy had been any good at his radio gig, he would have taken the call and kind of let the thing air out. But She didn't want to do it. So, I get this guy on the phone, and I go over to his house, and he's this lonely guy over in the Sunset District in San Francisco.
Right.
Got all these photographs of these glorious times in his previous radio career with all these hot chicks and stuff, and he's showing me all the slides. So I'm sitting there in his apartment, with Candy's radio co-host. I don't think that relationship lasted very long. But it was just weird, man. But like I said, if there was any illegal, any unlawful aspects to it, then she would have pursued it as such, and there wasn't. So I don't know. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah. I can tell you this. She quit comedy around 2010, and she ended up getting married. But I was a little bummed that she quit comedy because I thought she was one of the funnier female comics that were out at that time.
Yeah, she was good. I mean, she was cute, and I think she auditioned for Last Comic Standing or something. But I don't know anything else. I think I heard that she got married, but I didn't really. Like I said, I wasn't really a stalker. I wasn't following her every step of the way. I kind of got the message and said, "Well, that's unfortunate. I guess we're not friends anymore."
Yeah, and it was a pretty crazy situation, though. I can tell you this, though, man. I fucking missed you a lot when you were gone because, like I said, you were one of the cooler guys there.
Yeah, well, that was part of it. I mean, I stopped going to a lot of open mics because people were making threats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And even though I was a little angry and could have used a good brawl or two, I figured, let's be adults here and kind of diffuse the situation. I don't see what good could come of it.
Yeah, I mean...
What am I going to do, get in a fist fight with a bunch of fucking open micers? I mean, shit. I was still in a stage production. I was over there with the Berkeley Black Repertory Theater doing a production of A Raisin in the Sun. I was the white guy in an all-black play, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had thought about reaching out to you at that time, but I was fucking in my own shit. I just started working as a bouncer at a bar in San Mateo called the Swinging Door. John DeCoven hosted comedy night there too, and I was just hanging out there and going to comedy night. And then after they canceled comedy night, the owner offered me a job. I had been going there since I was a kid for fish and chips. They had really good fish and chips there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so he was turning the place into an entertainment venue, so I worked there until November of 2009. Then we had a huge falling out, and I was pretty bummed because finally I was doing something that I was getting recognized for, because my whole life I hadn't gotten recognized for anything good I was doing. But I was promoting that place. I was bringing people in. I mean, everything was great. I was getting laid.
Were you doing sets there?
Not after comedy night was canceled. I was working as a bouncer, and I was just promoting the place, getting people in, and just having fun and stuff. But then I quit doing comedy for a while in January of 2009. Went back to it late 2010 and stuck with it. But I was only doing it as a hobby. And then I had my accident in January of 2015. What happened was, me and my now ex-friend Dan, we coming back from the city one night drunk. This was our ritual. We got drunk every Tuesday, Wednesday night. Those were the nights.
Not the Danny we were talking about.
No.
Okay.
This was a scumbag that I thought was my friend.
You guys were drunk in the city. He was driving.
Yeah, and so I fell asleep in the car. He fell asleep at the wheel, and then we crashed. Fell into the middle of the road. We were okay. We got out of the car fine. And then a car...
Where?
Millbrae.
Oh, Millbrae, okay.
So a car collided with ours, and then the impact knocked us 100 yards into the highway, broke my leg, broke my hand, crushed my sternum. I had a mild heart attack. I mean, I was in a coma for 30 days. It was just insane.
Damn, yeah. No, I can't match that. I can tell you my car accident story, but I walked away unscathed. Back in 1985, I used to have this 1963 Pontiac Bonneville.
Right.
This enormous steel machine, with transmission, kind of like them old Cadillacs, but without the fins, right? And my friend and me pulled over these two chicks in a Honda Civic, and we went up to Twin Peaks and got in their car and started flirting with them and shit. Decided to go somewhere else. So we're at the top of Twin Peaks in San Francisco, and I forget where we decided to go. So they head off, and we're following them. They tried to ditch us. I think I was on Quaaludes at the time, which shows you how old I was, that I was still able to get Quaaludes in the 80s. And so they're burning down Twin Peaks, that windy road in a Honda Civic, and we're in this huge boat, and taking this corner, and boom, I black out, and a moment later I wake up and we're upside down. And gasoline's pouring out of the tank, because if you turn over, it's not watertight, it just comes right out.
Right.
And I mean, we're upside down. We could have just gone over the friggin' embankment and right down, over the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
For some reason, we hit the hillside. I don't know what happened. We're just upside down in the middle of the lane. And,
right.
My friend and me just climb out of the car, just bumps on our heads. There's no seatbelts in this friggin' thing. And, staring at the gasoline pouring out of this upside down hulk of the car.
Right.
And when you know it, the next car coming down is dudes that we know, in this tiny little car. We jump on their laps, and they're on the way to a kegger. And so you go to a kegger smelling like gasoline, reeking of gasoline. They're saying, dude, there's no problem. Just tell them that your car got stolen,
Mm-hmm.
So we go to this kegger at Rooftop Elementary School, which is right at the bottom of Twin Peaks. And, from there, I eventually made my way home, still smelling the gasoline. And, I was pissed because my dad inherited that car. And right when I get home, there comes the phone call from the police telling, waking my dad up, telling him that they found the car. And I couldn't even fake a lie. I guess it was stolen. I couldn't do it. It's, hey, we moved over. He was just glad that we weren't hurt. But,
yeah,
man, flipping a car on Twin Peaks, and the cops wrote a ticket for parking 18 inches away from the curb.
Wow.
We had to fix the car in the impound, it's all messed up and shit.
Yeah.
But, no, I didn't get fucked up like you did, man.
That's good. Hey, weren't you on the game show Passwords?
No, it was Merv Griffin's Crosswords.
Oh, Crosswords.
Yeah. I edited the episode, a half-hour episode, and put like 8 minutes of it online. It's still up there somewhere. Yeah, man, it was tough. There's you're competing against 4 other people, and I kept my podium, but I didn't win the game. I won a wristwatch, but I did pretty good. I mean, the clip is up there.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I've seen it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Merv Griffin's Crosswords, and man, it wasn't easy to get on my show. You got to take a test and stuff, and a lot of people didn't make the cut. They think you do a lot of trivia and stuff.
They do that for Jeopardy also.
Say that again?
They do that for Jeopardy also.
Oh, yeah, Jeopardy's got to be much worse. And, you got to take the test, and then that's stressful enough. But then when you get in front of the cameras, I was all twitching and stuff. You can't tell by looking at it. But it's tense. You know what was funny? I did another show down there in Los Angeles. Yep. You remember the Jerry Springer hosted show? Oh, shit. What was it called? Not Blind Date or something. Incompatible or whatever. It was like a dating show with Jerry Springer. Do you remember that? Like around 2011 or 2012?
I wasn't going out. I was going out a lot during that time. I wasn't never home.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. I never saw an episode of it either. Oh shoot, what was it called? Anyway, it was a Jerry Springer dating show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Baggage. It was called Baggage. Okay, and the premise was that they would get a gal and 3 dudes vying for, kind of like a dating game, or a dude and 3 gals vying for him. And the people vying for the attention of the one person all had like a secret, their baggage.
Right.
And it used me on there as an alternate. You know, like if the person they selected wouldn't show up, then they would throw me in front of the camera. So you sit around all day in the green room and you get paid. But then one time they called me up and said, "Hey, we want you to be a contestant." I'm like, "Shit!" And I was all, you know, I gained weight and stuff. I wasn't looking that good. And they say, "Yeah, we want you to be a contestant, you know, and vie for the attentions of this chick." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And they say, "Oh, one thing, she's blind."
Yeah.
I thought, well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, now it makes sense. Normally you wouldn't see a dude looking like me. Who's, you know, the best years were behind him. But if you can't see what I look like, that makes sense. So yeah, I was on that Jerry Springer show, Baggage, and I forget. You know, they make you fabric. I didn't really have any dark, deep secrets. I hadn't been arrested or anything, so you had to make something up, and I forget what it was. But yeah, it was like the dating game. And,
Nice.
I didn't win. Some other dude got it. But you know, they don't really go out at the end. They both get their gift certificate and they go on their way. They don't really coordinate, knowing how to go on a date like you think that they do.
Yeah. My fucking family, they keep saying to me all the time, "When are you gonna audition for a game show or get on one of those reality shows with the prizes?" I'm like, I always put in the applications, but I never hear back, and I would love to be on them, you know, because they want me to make money for them, you know, they want me to win the prize, and I want to do that, but it's like I don't hear back from them.
Well, you got to kind of be down there, you know, and do the rounds and stuff. You know, there's a lot of gigs where you can sit in the audience and get paid, like Price is Right, stuff like that. I got paid to be in the audience of that. And also a lot of those shows, there's teams, you know, and then they had a teammate and stuff. There was one hosted by Craig Ferguson. Damn, what was it called? This was back in 2015 or 14 when I was living in Los Angeles. I forget what it was called, but it was a team show. And they would team people up with celebrity guests.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the audience, and which celebrity comes up? Friggin' Jerry Springer again. He comes over and saying hi to the audience, and say, "Hey, Jerry, how are you? I was on your other show." I'm like, "Oh, great." You know, he don't remember, of course, but it's kind of funny. I'm not even a fan of the guy, but fucking I got to be united with Jerry Springer twice, 2 different shows.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, but shoot, I came close to being on a couple of those. I made it to the second stages. But yeah, you got to be down there and do the rounds because it ain't that hard. There's so many of them.
Yeah. Where do you live again?
Right now I'm in Petaluma.
In Petaluma, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that short you sent me. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Dutch's Last Mission is a 5-minute comedic vignette. It's based on all these movies about action heroes and stuff. For example, like in Rambo 3, when Colonel Troutman goes and talks them into doing this mission, they spend like 30 minutes of screen time trying to talk him into doing the mission. You know, we saw the poster for the movie. We saw the preview. We know he's going to do the mission. And they waste all this screen time. You know, and it's not just, you know, like the Mark Wahlberg movie Shooter, and there's just all these movies where the actor's got to show this character arc, you know, and his character's torment. And they're just wasting all our time. We know you're going to do the mission. We saw the preview. We saw the poster. So I did a parody of that called Dutch's Last Mission, where the guy comes and tries to talk this old mercenary into taking this mission, and he just sits there and, you know, rebukes him and everything and wastes everybody's time. 5-minute vignette. But I got back to the Sacramento Film Festival. It was kind of nice. I didn't win any prizes, but people should go online and look at it. Dutch's Last Mission on Vimeo. And the funny thing about that was I was in an acting class down there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, even though I was looking for production work, I figured, well, I can still go to auditions and, you know, maybe get a supporting role or something. So it wouldn't hurt. they do is they bring in these scenes from movies and they imitate them.
Yeah.
And it would be better if they just brought in the scenes and tried to interpret them. But they go and they watch the movies or watch the scenes online. So now it's in their head what the definitive version was, and they try and imitate it instead of giving a new interpretation of it. And it's just tedious. So you're sitting there watching your fellow actors, do their scenes and everything. And there's no spontaneity. And then the coach, the teacher gives his notes afterwards. It just goes on and on like that. And, I fancy myself a writer. I've got screenplays that made it to the finals of competitions and stuff. I had a play that was produced and got me paid $600. So I said, well, I want to write original scenes here and test these actors, and I want to direct them. And we did that thing, Dutch's Last Mission, and it's played straight like a drama. And you see these people in the bleachers up there waiting for their scenes, and they're just nodding off, checking their phones and everything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they realize that it's a comedy, and, they're interested.
Yeah.
And the acting teacher's interested, and we do it, and there's laughs at the end. Me and this other actor did the scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, we kind of broke through the monotony and stuff. And they're all pleased, and we're happy with it. And so the other actor and I said, hey, let's film this. So we filmed it. But, that's funny how these things come about. So I'm really proud of that. It's just a sketch, you see sketches on Saturday Night Live and stuff. And when they're good, they're good. But it was funny how that came about.
Yeah. I'm trying to move to L.A., and take acting classes and stuff down there. Me and my mom were planning on going down there for 30 days, probably by next spring or something, if we can get money for it.
Why? What do you want to do? You want to be in commercials and stuff? You want to be in shows?
Oh, I want to do everything, man. I want to be bigger than Amy Schumer, I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. So you have a teacher picked out? Do you know what you're going to do? Do you have a plan? What's the plan?
Oh, there's a couple people I want to study with, including some people I've interviewed. I just want to, I want to be at the comedy clubs, trying to get stage time and all the open mics, and graduate my way.
Open mics down there. I mean, if you got free time, there's plenty of places to go to.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to go on auditions of acting. I want to get a podcast studio and do a real podcast, have people in the studio with me,
Nice, yeah.
I want to have my own late night horror show, like I said. And there's this thing, or this studio out in LA. It's called Stream.tv, right?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a cable access station on the internet, and they produce shows, and fucking I emailed them and they told me it's like $9,000 for a turnkey, and I'm like, what the fuck do you expect everybody who does your show to be fucking rich? It's fucking insane.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be careful of that. It's a racket down there. They want to charge you for everything, for the acting classes, for stage time and stuff. They take advantage of people down there. So, just be aware of that. You don't have to pay all these people to do that stuff. It doesn't cost you anything to go to auditions. You can get acting classes that don't cost a whole lot, and it's really just, you're paying for a venue where you can do your exercises with other people.
Well, I won't name names, but certain people I've interviewed said that they'll teach me for free and stuff.
All right, well that's good. I mean, that's just it. Don't get rooked, and if you have contacts, that helps. But you seem motivated, so shoot, go for it. Why not? There's just so much content now, and they really do need a lot of people. Even if you're doing support roles, man, that's nothing to frown on. I would have been totally happy with that, but I just, got tired of going to auditions. I didn't care about it. But if you got the bug and the motivation, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And God, I just have all these goals and shit. That accident, it changed me, and I didn't see my talent when I was younger, but now I do, and nothing's gonna stop me.
Well, you're a character type, you know, and interesting people are what is needed, because everything else is just a bunch of, you know, adorable people and beauty pageant contestants and stuff like that. So they need the character personalities and the character faces and stuff to balance everything out. So there's definitely plenty of room for that. You just got to compete with the other people who are competing for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's attainable. That's what I'm saying. It's attainable.
Yeah. Do you have a film that you're about to make or anything?
No, I had written the original screenplay. I was talking with this guy up here in Sonoma County. You know, we were going to do an exploitation movie. He had directed a play that I was a stage manager of. And he said he knew people and stuff, and we could get investors and everything. And I said, let's do an exploitation movie. They always make money, even if you get dumped on Netflix or something. Exploitation movies always make money. So I wrote this original screenplay. It was pretty good, probably a bit more arty than exploitative, which is one of those humble brags. But, you know, as what usually happens with these things, the talks kind of broke off, and, you know, it peters out. And I've experienced that before. So, no, you know, I just keep writing them. And the thing is, if you want to make an impression, you got to do something that's really going to, you know, startle people, or, you know, you got to do something that's going to break out above the norm and everything. And usually those things cost a little bit of money. I don't know.
I have screenplays I'm going to pitch to some of my connections next time I see them at a convention or a festival. That two of them are horror, one's a sci-fi one, and they're very out of the box, out of the ordinary, and they got humor elements in them, and they're throwback to the 80s, so they're pretty good.
Have you tried submitting them to some of their writing competitions?
No, because they fucking charge you rapey prices for that, and it's such a long shot because you're competing with 100 other scripts.
Yeah, but they ain't that much. I mean, you're talking about $35 or $40 and stuff.
Oh, no.
They'll give you feedback, and it you know, a lot of them are rackets, but at the same time, if you're, you know, you got something really good, you know, you can be in competition there. So it's kind of a good way to know what you got is, you know, really competitive.
Yeah, but some of the ones I've seen charge $700.
No. I submitted a screenplay I had, and, you know, the expensive ones are like $70. These are writing competitions or film festivals. They have screenplays or movies or short films and stuff. You know, you go on withoutabox.com and you look for the writing competitions.
Okay.
So 70 is on the high end and 25 is on the low end. And you submit it. And if you know, don't hear back from them, then you figure you got to do a little bit better. Doesn't mean that you can't get it produced.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's helpful. I did one, and it got to the finals of 3 festivals. But, you know, the first one I did, the finally made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And it was my best one, and they were right. I didn't win a prize, but I got that much closer. So I don't know, but yeah, if you got a different plan, then do what you got to do.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that, though. But I have a good feeling about it. I met some people at the convention I was at yesterday, so we'll see what happens.
You should send me your screenplay so I can take a look at them and critique them and everything. I'm a brutal critic, dude. I'll make it real nice for you before you show it to somebody else. I'll put the red pen to it, you know, and check your spelling and your grammar and stuff like that.
Maybe I don't want to do that then.
No, yeah, that's the thing. But, I mean, there's a discipline to it. There's definitely a discipline.
There sure is. But like I said, though, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to get a show going, and when I do, I'll let you know because I think you'd have a lot of fun doing a show with me.
What kind of show?
Well, the horror show.
You know, like an internet show.
Yeah.
Out of what? Out of Los Angeles? Where?
I have no idea. My life is so unpredictable. You know, I'm trying to move to LA, but I don't know when it's going to happen. But if I go back to the Bay Area and stuff, we'll see what happens. But
well, yeah, well, there's a lot of people that do those, and they're perfectly doable, and you just do them on the internet. It's really not that complicated. So yeah, just contact me directly, you know, and we can discuss it. I mean, you can have this done before you know it. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. Well, Lee, I thank you so much for taking the time tonight. This was a lot of fun. I want to do it again soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on your show. Your show, you got some really good guests. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm envious, you know. But again, when you get Catherine Mary Stewart or some hot piece of us in your show, don't go, you know, wasting your time talking about your pal Dan or whatever. you know, ask her about Nighthawks and stuff. She was in Nighthawks, to find out loud.
Oh no, she wanted to know because you know I've been friends with her for a couple of years overall.
Yeah.
She was curious to know again. You know.
Okay, I know. I'm just busting your balls, man. You're doing fine. Don't listen to me.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Donnie.
All right, Lee. Have a good night. Well, there you have it. Lee Stoneman. Ain't he a cool dude? Thank you so much, Lee. I had a lot of fun talking about the old days, talking about movies and all that stuff. Show business, man. It's just around the corner for us. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.